Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jared Glant, and welcome to another episode of Young Hustlers on the Cardone Zone, where every Thursday at noon East Coast Standard Time, I come on and I talk about my journey with Grant and what I've learned along the way, so that hopefully I can pass along some things to you that have been impactful for me, that have changed the direction of my life. I wasn't brought up to think with doing such massive monster things, like my parents, they didn't make a whole lot, we did well. We didn't really want for anything, but they weren't rich, they weren't wealthy, and they were amazing parents. But the truth is if you guys want to get somewhere in life, you have to start looking for the right type of people to surround yourself with and the right type of environments to place yourself in, so that you can learn the things that you weren't taught. And, just by the pure numbers of economics and demographics in the country, 99% of the population is not brought up around wealth. They don't have it in, as their mother or their father. That's the 1% is the 1% of the country, which means the majority of the people don't have access to this type of information. So that's the purpose for shows like this. That's the purpose of events like the 10X Growth Conference. That's the purpose of events like Grant's doing on the West Coast right now at the West Coast Tour. The purpose is to get connected with information, strategies, and people that can help you get access to the information that you were never taught. And so that's one of my goals on this show, is to impart upon you, the things that I know worked for me. And so the show today is going to be just a few things that I have learned along the way, things that I think with, things that I apply with, for daily success. And the very first thing, we talk about this all the time, number one thing you got to do to start your day out for success is you got to get goal focused. Goal focus creates intention, it creates direction, it creates purpose, it creates confidence, it creates a reason, I don't know how many of you listening right now are in love with your job. How many, if you ask yourself, hey, do I love my job? Do I love showing up to work every day? And I don't mean every day, but most days you feel good, because I have days where I don't feel good. I don't love showing up. But the majority of the time, I feel really good about the work that I do. And so for a lot of people, I believe that when they aren't connected to the reason why they're showing up to do what they're doing, they lose that direction and they lose that focus, and then they wonder what their purpose is and why am I doing what I'm doing, and I got a boss that yells at me, or I got coworkers that that talk trash behind my back, or there's drama over here or there. You guys want to tell the construction guys to just hold off for 30 minutes? We're doing all this crazy expansion over here. So getting goal focused at the beginning of the day was one of the biggest difference makers for me. And in the course of a week or a month or a year or 5 years or 10 years that I've been with Grant, continually focusing on the thing that is driving me to show up every day, and it's driving me to push through the hard things, and it's driving me to push through the big obstacles and goals, has been a massive, it creates momentum and it creates additional push. So I'd say number one is being highly goal focused. Number two is, without a doubt, you have to find a way to get much more done during your day than you could ever imagine. The amount of people that show up, go to work, and think they actually did work, probably 99% of people. They can't even get into the realm of, I've got so much going on that I don't even know what to do, where to go, or when to do it. Today, perfect example. I'm sitting there busting my ass working, and then all of a sudden Francisco runs in and goes, hey dude, we doing a show at 12:02. No show title, no topic, no nothing. Because I'm freaking grinding out trying to do 15 other things. And a lot of people in our organization work like that. There's so much going on, and people are doing so much and accomplishing so much that you lose track of time, you lose track, You ever have those days where you're just on it and you're so productive and you're getting so much done, and you come into work and you have everything planned out that you need to get done, and then you look up and you're like, dude, it's the end of the day already. Like, you have those days where time just seems to freaking fly. If the answer is yes, then you got to look back and go, well, how many days do I have where it's not like that? And my guess is that the majority of the days that you are in your office or in your place of business, the day does not go like that. The days that go like that for me are when I have so much stuff to do and so much going on, and I'm moving without a whole lot of distractions, and and it feels great, right? So you got to figure out like how to get your day so stacked, doing stuff and being productive, and then what you have to do is you have to start stringing those days together. So the third thing that has been an absolute game changer for me is continuing to develop myself. And whether it's seminars or books, for me, most of the time it's audiobooks, driving in the car. You know, like I'll give you an example. Some of you have read Grant's book, The 10X Rule. Some of you have read, any of the books, Sell or Be Sold, If You're Not First, You're Last, Closed Survival Guide, whatever. Like, you change as a person and you develop and grow as a person. And what I would encourage you to do is if you read something or listened to an audiobook or something that you loved, listen to it again a year later. Listen to it multiple times. For me, like I lived on Rules of Success, which is one of my favorite programs that Grant created. Like that was a program that I listened to every single day in my car. It's probably a 15 minutes. It's probably like a 3 hour, 2.5 hour program. I had about an hour or so in the car every day. Dude, I listened to that program every single day for probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years. It was crazy, but I kept going through that program and I kept, it became something that I internalized so deeply. And so when you find something that moves you, like if it's the 10X rule or if it's Think and Grow Rich or if it, whatever it is, like when you find something that speaks to you, you have to continue to consume it over and over and over again, because that's how you really internalize and know something. It's said that the knowledge that you have, like when you truly understand something, you should be able to teach it. So think about that. Think about like the fact that you went through the 10X rule and you loved it. Most people retain less than 10% of the information that they consume from a book. There's things that you like, there's things that catch your eye, but you forget most of it. And so by continuing to repeat it and go through it, you begin to learn it and have a deeper understanding of it, and you can access it more when you think about it. And if that happens, then you can actually start applying it to your life. And then when you do that over a period long enough where you truly have internalized, contextualized, and understand content and information, then you can go out and teach other people. So I think that for me, number one, highly goal focused. Number two, try to get as much as you could possibly get done in a single day done. Continue to add stuff. I learned this from Grant. This wasn't my origination or my idea. This was something that I saw from him. Like when I got to the point where I was like to the gills and I'm like, dude, I cannot possibly get one more thing done. He'd be like, oh yeah, we're going to do an event in 2 weeks. And I'm like, crazy. But it starts expanding you and what you're capable of and all the different balls that you can juggle. This is a crazy process, this thing of trying to figure out how to do something massive and do something do the thing that you need to do to get the life that you deserve. Like it's such a trip figuring it all out. And so it's so exciting to be around a guy like Grant. And for those of you who don't have the opportunity to work here, look at what we're doing. Like look at all the things that we do. We have our biggest event of the year in 40 days, 12,000 people. I'm looking at the lineup of speakers that we have. Kevin Hart, Megastar, Magic Johnson, Scooter Braun, Brad Parscale, Marie Forleo, Elena Cardone, Rick Ross, Brandon Dawson, John Nigerian, Pete Vargas, Ryan Dice, and I still have like 3 more things that we haven't even announced yet. We still are trying to figure out details on parties and all this stuff. By the way, we still have a business here. We still have an e-commerce company. We still have a training business. We're launching an on-site training company division for that. So we're working on that. We have our automotive division that's blowing up right now because we hired a bunch of people for it, and we're going to push really hard into that space. Like, our license program is going off the rails right now. It's crazy. And then Grant goes, let's do 6 events in January. What? We're going to promote these events. We're going to manage these events. We're going to have, like, holy shit. Like, how are you even thinking this is possible? Like, if you guys can just look at what's happening from the outside, our team hasn't grown by double over the last 6 months, but what we're doing and the stuff we've been able to get accomplished has. It's because we continue to grow our bandwidth. I mean, like, I can only imagine people that leave here and go work somewhere else. They're like, what am I supposed to do with the other, 3/4 of my day? Like, the work you wanted me to get done in a day, I got done in the first hour and a half that I was here. Like, what next? So this is like a critical thing. So number 1, goal focus. Number 2, get as much done as possibly can. Number 3, internalize things so deep that you can actually teach it. Like, that's why for me, when I pick up a book, I know it's not reading a book once. Like, for me, it's reading a book once. If I like it, if I love it, I know that I'm going to be like, this is something I'm going to have to read 10, 12, 15 times. I'm going to have to listen to the program every day in my car for 3 or 4 months. Like, that's what, when you shift into like wanting to truly understand something, you have to go over there. And maybe you're some freaking genius. Maybe you're like a freak of nature who can read something once and learn it all. And you're, a genius and super intelligent. I ain't. I got to read stuff a lot. I gotta listen to it a lot to truly understand what it is. And so, like, even videos, like Grant put out video on, like five steps to becoming a millionaire. It was one of our most popular videos that we've had, one of our most viral videos that we've had on YouTube. Dude, you could watch that over and over and again. I was there when he shot it. I've heard the information, and every time I watch it, I think about something differently. Because as you grow as a person, as you change, like, you start internalizing things differently, and your frame and your lens changes the way that you're looking through stuff. So like, you got to start stringing these things together, So number 1, goal and target focus. Number 2 is put more on your plate than you could possibly handle, and you'll find a way to get it done. And then number 3, continue to educate yourself with information so deeply that you could actually teach it. I got a couple more, but let's go to the callers right now. Natalie, who we got?
We got David in Atlanta.
Dave?
David.
David, what's going on, bro? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Jared?
Real good, dude. Hey, are you coming to the 10X Growth Con?
Yes.
My man. Where are you sitting? Where are your seats at?
General, with my mother, my sweet mother.
Good for you, my man. Good for you. Bringing your mama, getting her on
Hey.
board. What's up?
Jared, I got a question for you.
Yep.
Because I know that you're a sales expert. The question is this. So I'm in insurance sales, specifically group benefits, with a pretty large carrier in the U.S. And I study all the Cardone U stuff, but the tricky thing is in my industry, sales are conducted through a brokerage. So I was wondering if you could give me advice as to best practices for using those principles, but going through a broker, because that's just the way that the business is done, unfortunately. It's not just strictly B2B, like carrier to client, or, obviously it's not B2C.
So just define that for me. So you have, let's just say you've got a big bank, right? And you're trying to get their policy.
Yeah.
Right? So
let's just say, yeah.
So you reach out to the bank, you find out the person that's in charge of doing it, you get on the phone with them, you do your razzle dazzle, and they're like, wow, this sounds great. What happens next?
No, so how it would work is like, let's just say I'm going to the bank, right? I want to get the banks, I want to be responsible for their group benefits. What I would have to do is go through a broker, whether it's at Aon or Mercer, and basically they're the middleman between insurance carrier and client. So it's tough because you don't get to like touch and feel the client. You have to rely on the broker to do that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so then I'd say that do you have any communication with the client you want to land or no?
You could, but some view that as stepping on the broker's toes. I mean, I wouldn't have any objection to it.
Yeah,
but
so then I
not
would just
like
say this. Your job is to sell the client and to sell the broker. Like, you got to be working both angles. You have two customers right now. Like, Grant always talks about, like, when you're in a sale, you should be able to be both the buyer and the seller. Like, you need to be selling the broker continually. You need to be following up with them to make sure that they're following up with the client, and then you need to be following up with the client to let them know that you're engaged in the deal and you're following up with the deal, so you're omnipresent in the deal. The broker can't do anything in the day without thinking about you, and the client can't do anything in the day without thinking about you. Like, the omnipresence thing, eventually it's going to be like the client's going to start pushing on the broker. Do the deal, do the deal, do the deal, because you've demonstrated value, you've hung in there, you've shown up, you've been persistent, and you followed up.
Can I ask you one more follow-up question to that?
Yeah.
So, like, just your own insight, I kind of described to you how this business works. Do you think that going forward the broker will be eliminated just because it causes friction in the deal, or what do you think about that?
I mean, like, there's a big shift. I mean, everybody's trying to get as close to the consumer as possible. Disintermediation is what the smart people call it. But it's basically where people get removed from the process. I think that there's a chance that this could happen in the auto business. This is, what do they call it? Not vertically integrated, omni-channel. I forget what they call it. But it was one of the things that I learned in school that never made me any money. But I think that there will always be the potential of somebody to be removed from the process where there's no value added, or, like you said, where friction's created. Amazon's the perfect example of what happens when you eliminate friction between the customer and them getting what they want. You have a 60-second, I mean, like, literally, you pop into Amazon, you pick what you want, you slide to buy, and you're out. So it's like, you know, I think that wherever value, the absence of value will ultimately lead to the elimination of things in that process. So the bank teller, if the machine can do it better, quicker, faster, and doesn't have a bad attitude or whatever, like, I think that there's always the risk of that to happen. The thing you need to do is just continue to, maybe you're the reason, maybe you're the inspiration, maybe you're why the industry changes. I don't know, but play with that, play with that as the rule in your head, going like, hey, I need to be everywhere. I need to be everything to everybody and be everywhere all the time, so that in the event that the broker gets middled out of the deal, or the company does this or that or the other thing, or the industry changes, that you've already built in the muscle to do what you need to do to secure the client on your own.
Right. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it.
You got it, brother. All righty, let's go with the next caller.
You've got Brett in New Jersey.
Brett, what's going on, brother? How are you? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Jared? I appreciate you taking my call. I'll be real quick. I know your time is valuable.
My man.
I came across you and Grant maybe 6 months ago, and after consuming some of your content, especially about making sure you're in the right vehicle and creating meaningful goals, I realized that serving in a restaurant, even though it was a high-end restaurant, isn't going to get me where I want to be. So committing to that change, I put in my 2 weeks, and my question to you is, given your tribal knowledge of all the different avenues in sales, with my limited knowledge of sales, even though I've read, spin selling, fanatical prospecting, sell or be sold, things like that, I'm leaning towards auto sales just to kind of get my feet wet in the industry. But is there another avenue that maybe you can think of that I wouldn't know about, or do you think auto sales is a good starting position?
Yeah, so like, I have a real affinity for retail selling. I sold motorcycles and jet skis and boats and things like that. Which isn't a car, but it's basically the exact same model and the exact same process. The cool thing about that is it's transactional. So you learn through volume of transactions, and you're seeing a lot of deals and seeing a lot of customers. And automotive is an area where the transaction value is pretty high, and the velocity or the volume of transactions is pretty high. So you have the opportunity to get exposed to quite a bit. And as a bad a rap as car dealers get, they actually do training. Like, they talk about deals, like, you learn about pipelines, you learn about deals that are working, you learn about handling objections, you learn about scheduling appointments. Like, there's a lot of amazing things that you learn there. So I think that is kind of a general rule, Getting into sales, you want to look for something that's transactional, as high dollar value as you could get, and some, an industry that's somewhat committed to training and development. So furniture sales, spa sales, cell phone sales, anything retail like that where you're seeing a lot of customers is going to be a great place for you to cut your teeth.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
brother.
you got it. Door to door is also great. I mean, cold calling is probably one of the best skills you can learn in sales, but I don't know if that's the best place to start. That it's a skill you need, but I think that if you got a job first somewhere else in a little bit less not constrained, but like the amount of pressure and the amount of time you have to be great on a cold call is really small. And so if you can build some experience working somewhere else before you go to cold call, I think that bringing that experience in will allow you to really maximize the opportunity to learn how to make the call. Man, they keep coming in. Let's go, Natalie. Who we got?
All right, you got Mike in Wisconsin.
Mike, what's going on, man?
Hey, my name is Mike from Madison. I am just wondering the best way to take retention to customers in the masses and take negative experiences and turn them into positive ones for long-term growth.
So customer has a bad experience. You want to try to figure out how to flip them?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So things that go wrong are opportunities for you to show somebody how great you are. I would say that communication is going to be key. Make the call, follow up with them, continue to follow up with them. If they tell you, hey, I'm never going to do business with you again, call them and continue to add value with them. I mean, it depends how deep you want to sink your hooks into them. But when you continue to show up and you continue to add value without a predetermined outcome, meaning like don't continue to call the customer to add value while in the same conversation talk about how you can make them a client. I would say if you have somebody that's completely like blown up and exploded on you, do whatever you can to solve that problem. Let them know like, we're going to get this handled. We're going to get it squared away. I'm going to get you set up. This is how we're going to get it fixed, blah, 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 blah. Like get the situation handled and then use that as a jumping point to build a relationship. And along the way, I would add value until you could swing them, Continue, hey, I want to offer you with some free access to Cardone University. Hey, we got this free thing coming up. I just wanted to invite you. Don't know if you can make it. I know you live in Wisconsin. We're going to be in California, but hey, I wanted to know that like this is going to be awesome. 3 hours, half day, great value. Grant Cardone talking about how to be more successful. You can go there for free. Absolutely. I just wanted to give you a call and let you know about it. Like you do enough of that, you'll swing somebody. Because they'll experience something from you that they don't experience anywhere. Like the bar is so much lower than people think it is. And if you have a great attitude, you provide good service, you've got enthusiasm, and you stick around long enough where somebody knows that you're actually legit and real, then I believe anybody can be swung. So I hope that helps. We got another one, Natalie?
Yes.
I've got one more. You got Alfonso in North Carolina.
Alfonso, what's going on?
How you doing?
What's
going
up,
on,
man?
Jared?
How are you, bro?
Good, bro. I'm good, man.
What's your question, brother?
Really, my question is, number one is, what's the CBD? Do you know anybody down there who grows CBD flowers?
Do I know anybody?
Yeah.
No.
Because you don't know?
No.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. My second question is, man, I was wanting to know about them apartments down there because me and my team, we trying to move down there to Florida.
Oh, yeah, they got a lot of apartments in Florida, man.
You think you'll be able to...
You just got to find the deals.
I'm looking to just live in one.
Oh, you're looking to live in one?
Yeah, live in one. Yeah, I'm trying to get familiar with the area because I want to get familiar with the energy.
Dude, then you got to get to Miami, dude. That's the only place to be in Florida.
That's the only place to be.
Yeah. It's Miami, anywhere between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Hey,
I'm gonna see you at Growth Condo.
You coming?
Yeah, I'm diamond.
My man.
I'm diamond. You gonna see me?
Let's go, bro. You're going to be in the first 2 rows. You might get spit on by Kevin Hart because he's going to be spitting some fire.
Hey, yo, long as he giving that education, I ain't tripping on that. Ain't no little water, little wipes to knock on. You feel me?
All right, bro. I appreciate the call. Be great. So, all right, guys. So check it. Like, those are just 3 things really quick that made a huge difference for me. Number 1, being goal focused. Number 2, try to figure out how to cram. Like, if you got free time during the day, you're not organized enough, you're not planned enough, you don't have enough focus on really what you need to get accomplished, big picture, so that you're trying to cram everything into the one day. And then number 3, continue to educate yourself and find ways to learn more, to get connected with people. Like our 10X Growth Conference is probably the best opportunity that we have for you to do everything in one place. And you know, I love connecting with people online. There's a lot of people that I'm connected with online that I have like online relationships with. But when you can come to a place and you can meet people face to face, you can share a meal with them, you can spend some time with them, you know, that's where you truly build relationships. And so in Las Vegas, February 21st through the 23rd of 2020, 40 days from now, we have the 10X Growth Conference. This is the largest, most talked about conference on planet Earth. Forbes just called it the #1 conference for networking on the planet. And you have an opportunity to be there for 3 days. We have some amazing people that have not even been announced yet. Like, the lineup right now is set. Tickets are selling out. We're probably 93% sold out right now. We'll sell out in the next 10 days. We're adding more stuff. You can always count on surprises. So for those of you who haven't picked up your seat yet, we still got our BOGO deal on executive seats. If you go to 10xgrowthcon.com, you can take advantage there. Crazy, ridiculous lineup, stupid parties, crazy entertainment still coming to be announced, and some special surprise guests that are going to blow your freaking mind. So please join us there. I know that this will be something that you look back on 5 years from now. Like, you will remember this experience for the rest of your life. You could buy another shirt, you could buy a Gucci belt, you could buy some sneakers, you could spend money on a lot of stuff. Spend money on something that has the opportunity to pay you 10x, 20x, 50x in return. This is an investment in you. It's an investment in your future. It's an investment in the network that you want to build. They say your network is your net worth, right? Dude, you got to get around people that are willing to throw down, spend money, and that want to do better, and they want to invest in themselves. So 10xgrowthcon.com, crazy deals right there. Also, if you have already bought your seat, make sure that you've actually gone in the ticketing portal and selected your seat. Just because you bought a seat does not mean you have to go in and actually pick where you're going to sit. So if you haven't, if you don't recall or haven't gone into the system and picked your seat, then call the office at 310-777-0255. We're like literally, I think we have 8 more premier seats left. We've got about 40 diamond seats left. We've got, I think, 80 or 90 VIP seats left. VIP seats include a hotel right now. If you need a deal on anything, if you want a deal, call the office. I'm trying to get this thing sold out in the next 10 days, so I'll do something stupid today. Call 310-777-0255. Talk to Natalie, talk to Glenn, talk to Kelvin, talk to Amir, talk to the team. Let's work out a deal. Let's get you there. I promise you this will be an event that you'll never forget. It'll change your life forever, and I look forward to meeting you in February in Las Vegas. Remember, the only people who condemn the hustle are the ones who've already given up on the hustle themselves. We'll see you next week.
Woo! Oh my God, man, do I have a big announcement for you, my friends, my 10X friends from around the world, boys and girls, raised by a single mother. Yes, that's me. Grew up with a daddy that wasn't there for him. Yeah, that's me. Super massive success after starting a career selling shoes. Yes, that is me. And a major proponent of the 10X movement. Yes, that's me, but it's also one other person. I'm so proud to announce Kevin Hart, movie star, comedian. I say his name and you know it, Kevin Hart. I invited him to be at our 10X Growth Conference. Got confirmation today that he will be there. And let me tell you why I picked him, okay? Guy comes from nothing. Used everything against him, turned it, flipped it to make him who he is today. Name is known worldwide. Tremendous energy, tremendous discipline, tremendous work ethic. Dude, Kevin Hart is a bad man.
And I'm so excited to have Kevin Hart at the 2020 10X Growth Conference. See you in Vegas.